Learn how to create, sustain, and scale up your print-on-demand business with the latest tips, guides, and strategies to help you start selling and making money today. Welcome to the Sales on Demand Show. And here's your host, Adam Schneider.
Hi everybody, welcome back. This is the Sales on Demand Show, the internet's #1 print-on-demand podcast. And yes, there is more than one. There's two, and this one is the best. So today, this is episode 60. Today we're going to be talking about, could you do Etsy full-time? I think so. And how to deal with customer questions, complaints, where's my product, can I get this in time? We'll go through all of that today. So first of all, let me say it is literally Christmas. If you've been listening to the podcast for any length of time, you know that at Christmas time, it gets wild. If you haven't sold at Christmas and you've got a few listings up and you're making a few sales, well, this is pretty close to what Christmas time is like. I mean, I don't know a single person. I've had comments from listeners. I've seen new sellers getting on there, and they are all saying that they're making sales. I've seen there was almost a competition on who has the most open orders on Etsy. That is, orders that haven't been shipped yet, but the customer is waiting for. So somebody commented they had 700 orders. And another person says they had 150. Myself, I've got 49 open orders on Etsy, and that is way more than I want. And you know what? It is what it is. Some of them are late. It can't be helped. But I've never had a Mother's Day like this one. We'll talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. But first, let me just comment about the world outside of my computer. So I just got back from a run. I was doing some interval training. The quarantines are in effect, but there is sort of a bright light on the horizon. People are talking about opening up again, and of course, between the protesters and the people who think we should be locked down till the end of December, you got to kind of pick a middle ground there. So eventually, everybody is going to be back out into the world. We're all going to be working again. Probably going to be wearing masks. You know what? It's just the new reality, right? But there's a lot of people that need to get back to work. I can't imagine what it would be like. And yeah, I'm not going to pretend that I'm not kind of privileged to have both a full-time job and a business that is just massively busy, where I'm making tons of money when there are so many people that are out of work. But man, if you ever thought about getting into print on demand, like literally now, it could not be better timing. So if you just stumbled across this podcast today, let me welcome you to a future where you have an option besides going hungry during downturns, economic downturns. So I talked about that last episode, how this is, I don't want to say it's a recession-proof industry, but I've never seen sales this good when so many people are out of work. So that's crazy. I just don't know what to make of that. Yeah, it's awesome for me and for you too if you want to join me selling print on demand. So yeah, I was a little bummed this week. I am not going to lie to you, my emotional state has been sort of up and down and all over the place. So I had a little bit of a tiny little sort of breakdown, if you want to call it that, where the province of Alberta announced that there would not be any large events taking place this summer. The Calgary Stampede being probably the biggest one. It is canceled for the first time in like 100 years. That's crazy. I've never seen this before, not even when in 2013 when there was a huge flood and it basically wiped out like all of the train lines and everything. The streets were flooded 2 weeks before Stampede. They still cleaned it all up and had it ready to go in time for Stampede. But this year, it's all canceled. And you know what? Fair enough. Whatever. Probably it would have been a very slow event anyway. People are still very cautious about going, but I can't fathom the economic pain that people are going to feel if your business relies on, going to these events. I mean, you may have to find another line of work for a couple of years, and that's not easy to do. Hopefully nobody listening to this podcast is in that line of work, but if you are, well, I've actually got some really good news for you. You may be able to find some full-time work doing print on demand. So we're actually going to talk about that in this episode. So first, what is selling right now? Well, everything. Like everything. But Mother's Day, of course, is taking, the forefront here. Father's Day is not far behind. And so I created a couple of customizable designs just for Mother's Day. I created two. There's two listings. Two different designs, and I made a two-toned version and a just straight white coffee mug version. Well, the two-toned mug of each customizable design has been like fire. Half of my orders every single day have been these two designs. So for one of the designs, I actually drew a tiny little cartoon graphic, and I'm no artist. So I had to sit down and trace it with the pencil, and then I traced it over with a Sharpie and then erased the pencil marks. Then I took a picture of it, and I kind of finessed it with some of the graphics programs that I've got. It's actually not that hard to do. You just got to play around with it a little bit. You can erase things and make the background transparent, but then I just added it to a design, put a spot for putting someone's names or several names, and I have been getting loads of orders. I can barely keep up with these orders. So this has actually showed me that it is so possible to do this full time, and especially during holidays. I mean, you could be having 30, 40 orders every single day, and this is how you do it. So if you're thinking to yourself, well, that's great for you, you're an experienced seller and blah 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 blah. Look, all of the top selling designs are easy to spot on Etsy. So I've been going to Etsy every now and then, and I can see you see these customizable designs. So one I've been seeing a lot is you get someone. There's two people standing there, and their back is facing you on the mug, and you can change their hair color, and you can change their skin tone or something like that. So you see a lot of these customizable designs, and somebody is fulfilling those designs probably manually. So they've got a Photoshop program. They're just taking the different elements and they're just putting them on top, and then creating a new graphic for each one. It's not that hard to do, and you can literally do it with any... Okay, so here's a couple of ways to do that. So mom and daughter, mother and son, father and son, grandfather and granddaughter, grandfather and grandson, and then everybody who owns a pet. Okay, so hire someone to draw you little cartoons of little animals and then little people, and then put the person there and put their name underneath. Then you make a mock-up of it on Photoshop. Look, this is not easy to do. I'm not telling you it's easy to do, but man, people love these things, and they will buy the crap out of them. I know this because I've got one listing targeted to people with 2 children, and they put their names on it, and it's selling like fire. So if I add other listings with 3 names, with 4 names, if I make it for dads, if I make it for grandmas or nanas or whatever, I will literally be overwhelmed with orders. I will not be able to manage that many orders, which is why I have not done that, because this is not where I want my business to be going, is with this customization thing. I'm doing it a little bit because it just seemed so easy to do, and it really caught fire, even on Amazon. Oh, by the way, Amazon Custom is also insanely useful, and it is still making sales. Even though it was a little slow last Christmas, I have one listing that's customizable for mothers on Amazon, and I am getting 2 or 3 orders every single day from that one listing. And I fill the orders, and I haven't added any more, even though I could, and I may add some more, but like I just don't have enough time to manage all of these orders. So I'm happy with how things are going for me, but it has become very obvious to me that if I wanted to do this full time, it would not be that difficult to do. I would just, let's say that I got laid off, or I was, broke my leg and I couldn't go to work for, I don't know, 8, 9, 10, 12 weeks or something like that. Well, I would sit down and I would create all of these customizable designs, and I would list them. Now, of course, it might not be, the sales during the summer maybe aren't going to be quite as good, but they're never not shopping for products. It's just that during holidays they shop so much more. But you can go through the summer. Lots of people are making, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 in sales just over the summer months. I'm aiming for that. We'll see how it goes. But of course, I'm not looking to work that hard this summer because I want to enjoy the summer. I'm aiming for Christmas. Christmas is going to be the big time. So if I'm busy over the summer, I will probably be overworked during Christmas. So I've got a little set of steps here, a workflow for you if you wanted to go full-time on Etsy. So 4 steps here. First, create customizable designs for holidays, events. So listen, stretch your mind a little bit and start thinking of events that happen. Weddings. Okay, so you've got the bride and the groom. You got the bride's hair color and hairstyle-ish, and the groom's hairstyle, right? Then you've got a first pet, a pet that dies, a commemorative mug for a pet that dies, for a family member that passes away, for a nurse. Okay, so healthcare workers right now are huge. People want to give gifts to their healthcare worker family and friends. So, if you're not creating designs for that, you're literally crazy. Which, of course, I am, because I'm not. And I just don't have time. So, but I'm giving you guys the ideas here. So, take it. Oh, by the way, I just had another sale while we were talking. So point number 2, sorry I got distracted by that. So you need to master titles and tags. And this is important because you might have great products and great designs, but if you can't get those designs seen by people, nobody's going to buy them, right? So the way to master this is to look at the top sellers and just sort of get inspiration from them. You can also get keyword ideas from software programs like Etsy Rank. I don't know how valuable that is. Honestly, I just make up my own titles and tags because I kind of know just by thinking about what people might be searching for, and it seems to work fine. Maybe they could be optimized a little bit, but I honestly am doing just fine, and realistically, I have no interest in going and changing anything. So, if you've got a product, and you've got a good title on it, and good tags, and it's still not selling, it means people don't want it. Bottom line, that's what it means, guys. So, number 3 is you create a workflow to launch new designs and send out orders to customers who have already ordered. And this can be challenging, especially with you're dealing with customizable products. People can be kind of finicky, right? So you're going to be dealing with customers. You're going to be maybe sending them a mock-up of what a product might look like. What I had thought, if I was going to do this, is that I would hire somebody locally, a local outsourcer, and that's point number 4. Consider hiring somebody local, add them to your shop, and then just pay them to fill the orders. You can train them and say, hey, listen, I'm gonna, you're gonna get, 10, 20, 30 orders a day here for the holidays, I'll pay you, you know, $3 an order. And this is what you do. You put this here, you do that, you do this, download the thing. So you can even just give them a laptop. Just give them a laptop with all the software on it. You know, I know it's an expense, but man, you can make so much money doing this. And then you've got to train them. So those two things are not easy to do again, but like if you want to do this full time, and by full time, guys, I mean you can easily earn double what somebody would make at a normal job like a teacher or a firefighter or something like that. You can earn double that. And really, you probably should earn double that because you've got to pay taxes, you've got to pay for your own health care and stuff like that. So, you know, full-time for people who work from home means basically earning like 1.5 times what everyone else makes because you've got to pay all your taxes and stuff. But anyway, so that's the 4 points. So I'll go through that again. Customizable designs, title and tags, workflow to launch new designs and send orders, and think about hiring somebody to fill those orders to help you out during busy seasons. Because I know things happen. You just don't want to be, you know, caught behind and not be able to get your orders out in time, because then you're going to have customer service issues. So let's talk about customer service during the holiday seasons. I've talked about this before. This is one of those things that I'm not a big fan of because it gives me anxiety, right? So once you start getting a lot of sales, you're going to get a lot of messages from customers on Etsy. On Amazon, no. I don't get any messages from Amazon customers. They just keep buying. You know, I'm doing like $300-400 a day, but the difficulty with Amazon, of course, is that I've got a lot of money tied up with that. So on Etsy, it's time. On Amazon, it's money. So you're going to have to commit one or the other to do well on either platform. So on Etsy, you're going to get a whole bunch of customers messaging you. It doesn't really bother me, but when I know someone's messaged me and I haven't responded, it actually makes me feel anxious, and I feel this urge to respond right away, even if I'm at work or something like that. So once you start getting really, really busy, you're going to have to turn your Etsy app notifications off. Now, I know it's great when you're a new seller. You hear the cha-ching, like you just heard. I don't know if you could hear it, but my Etsy app is set to notify me when I get a sale and when I get a message. So the sales are great. The messages, not so much, because it's always someone asking, the tracking number doesn't work. How do I need this for the 17th of April. It's my daughter's birthday on the 1st of May. Can I get this by then? Do you think it's going to arrive? So, you know what? There is an easy way to deal with the first, 60% of that, is you create an autoresponder on Etsy. So when someone messages you, they get this kind of a boilerplate message back, but you go through the most common questions that people have. So you tell them how to look up their tracking number. You tell them, how long you expect things to ship by, and be honest. Don't promise them the moon. Like, you have to set realistic expectations. That is vital. That is way vital. People will understand, and especially right now when there's a pandemic going on. Sales are overwhelming the print-on-demand suppliers. I'm just going to tell you that straight up. Gear Bubble and Custom Happy are like struggling to keep up. Gear Bubble has hired over 100 people in the last 2 weeks to manage customer service and to get products out the door. That is insane. And I know the owner of Gear Bubble personally. Like, that guy responds to, sellers right on Facebook. But I mean, he's got a big operation going on. So, I mean, he is outsourcing things to people that he probably should not be dealing with. Anyway, so get that autoresponder going. I should probably do that. I haven't done it yet. But set realistic expectations for customers. So make sure you set your processing times to at least 1 to 2 weeks. And you might think to yourself, well, who's going to buy a mug when they know they're not going to get it for, 2.5 weeks? Well, I don't know, 8 people ordered on Etsy from me today, and another 20 from Amazon. So yeah, people will order. If it comes late, it comes late. You just have to tell them it's going to come late. And sometimes you can make a sale and say this is going to be late, but if you like, I have a gift card set up. And then you just give them a digital gift card with a picture of the mug on a very nice background. Maybe it says Happy Mother's Day underneath or something like that. Easy to do. So you can set that up and give the customer that mock-up, which is kind of like a digital gift card, as something that they can show the person, their mother or whatever. They can say, hey, look, this is what is coming in the mail for you. See, it's really cute. I bought it from this loser on Etsy. He lives in Canada. It's coming in the mail. Who knows when? So, number 3 on customer service is there is going to be errors. There's going to be mistakes. You're going to have people get the wrong item. There's going to be broken items. And it is a pain to deal with. If you're part of the low-hanging system, you actually have a very great customer service contact. When you join the low-hanging system training program, we get a special email that we can send like seller requests to, and those people go and look up for us and see what's going on. Otherwise, you got to go to the email of seller@yourbubble.com and ask them. But they're pretty fast too. It's just that the low-hanging system team is faster. So anyway, there is going to be mistakes. There's going to be wrong items sent out. Deal with it. Either refund the customer, send a new product, whatever you got to do. Listen, this is your business, and I can't tell you, yes, you should refund your customer, but, I have done that quite a bit. And, it does cut into my profits, but, you know what? I'm making pretty good profits. So helping customers out by giving them a bit of a break when something goes wrong on my end, that actually just gives me good reviews, and people love it. They absolutely love it. And they'll order from you next time. Even if you made a mistake this time, if you make it right, they'll order from you again. And then maybe you'll make up the profit that you lost in the first order. Okay, so deal with those mistakes professionally. And number 4, don't get upset. Okay? Don't get upset about a couple of things here. So don't get upset when things don't ship on time. Okay? So the one thing that always catches new people off guard is when the volume of sales goes up, the shipping and handling time gets longer. So instead of mugs getting shipped out a day or 2 days after they're ordered, it might be 10 days. And in some cases, it can be as many as 14 days. Okay, so there's going to be items that are going to take 2 weeks to get out the door. That is reality of what we're doing, right? Literally everything is being printed as it's ordered. None of this stuff is pre-printed unless you're selling on Amazon, and you've got fulfillment by Amazon. Even then, Amazon is basically slammed with orders. I have like almost 200 pending orders that people have paid for, but it hasn't been shipped out yet in my Amazon seller account. So hopefully that gets rectified eventually. But you know what? It all gets ironed out in the end. So don't get upset. Things are going to happen. Be a soothing professional. Be like be the adult in every conversation. Customers are kind of like, I don't want to say this in a derogatory way, but they're kind of like children, right? And they're going to be whiny. They're going to be like demanding. They're going to be like, well, this hasn't shipped by tonight. Please cancel and refund my order. And I make fun of these people, kind of, because I don't get that mentality. I don't behave like that. And so I don't understand what makes other people behave like that. But the truth is, they do. They behave like that. And there's nothing that we're going to do to change them. Okay? I'm not there to, like, slap them on the side of the head and say, quit being a jerk. they're giving me money and they want a product. And sometimes they're going to be a little grumpy if they don't get that product in the way or the method that they expected it. So deal with that. Be a soothing professional. Remind them that there's a pandemic going on. That's a great deflector, right? Be like, hey, listen, I appreciate that you ordered from me. The pandemic has slowed everything down. I appreciate your patience as I work through this. I've got more orders than I know what to do with, and I'm going to get your product to you. It just might not be in a as timely a fashion as maybe don't say that, but it's going to be a little bit later, but it's not going to take weeks. It'll be a few days later. It might arrive after Mother's Day. Let me know if you want a gift card so that your mom can see what she's getting. Or your husband, whatever. Your grandma. You know what I'm saying, right? Be that soothing professional. Be the adult in the conversation. So that's basically all I got for you guys. If you're not taking the advice that I give you, you are leaving cash on the table. Listen, if you are off work right now, sit down at your computer. It is not too late to start making orders making sales on Etsy. And a lot of sellers will continuously be adding new listings even during the holidays because they're seeing what's selling already and they want to take advantage of that, right? So if you get on top of these things, you can do so well. You could do this full time. And isn't it crazy that, we're working in an industry, I guess you could call it an industry, I don't know what else to call it. This is a business, this is a trade that, if you want to go full time, you can, but you got to work for it. And so for me, I'm like, oh, I don't want that. I don't want to have to put in all the time to do that. So I'm deliberately holding back on things I know will sell because I don't have time to manage it. That is a problem that I'm okay with that problem. If I've got too many good ideas that I don't have time to execute them all, that's better than having no work and no prospects for work. And this is a business that you can literally, if you have a laptop and a internet connection, you can be on top of, Mount Kilimanjaro and be running a business. Might be a little cold. You might need a jacket or something, but you could do it. Okay, so we'll talk to you next week. Hopefully my hair hasn't fallen out from the busyness of this, but I am very hopeful for the future, and I hope that all of you are in the same boat. Oh, I should leave with this. Actually, I am hosting a virtual race, a 5-kilometer walk or run race, and it's to benefit my local food bank, but because it's a virtual race, you do not need to be local to participate. So send me a message on Facebook. Look me up on the Sales on Demand show page. Leave a comment. And if you want to participate in that, I would love to have you on board. I'm very excited about this. I'm hoping to get a bunch of local people on board because I want to run a 5-kilometer race, but everything has been canceled for the pandemic season. So we got to work around it. So I'm hosting this virtual race. Basically, you got to run the distance during the week of the 21st to the 27th of June, and then whoever's fastest gets the prize. And it's a $50 gift card, and I'm donating the prize. So, if you want to take advantage of my generosity, go for it. In any case, we'll talk to you all next week. Cheers.